everyone, and welcome to our second installment of our Take 5 with StratusLIVE series. Today we're tackling the digital fundraising challenge of volunteer engagement, and in particular we're digging into the Volunteer Now module within StratusLIVE Ignite. As far as our agenda goes today, first I'll give a brief introduction to our speakers today. Then we're going to dig into our challenge, how to provide flexibility and choice for volunteers. We'll then provide a bit more of an introduction to how StratusLIVE approaches this challenge, and then end with a brief demo of Volunteer Now, and if time, we'll discuss some question and answer. First up, our speakers for today. We have Jennifer Mitchell, who you can see on the screen now. She's a project manager. She leads implementation for a lot of our Ignite clients that we work with, and that's me there. I am a digital marketing manager. First up, our challenge, how to provide flexibility and choice for volunteers. And as we were thinking about this particular challenge, it seemed pretty apropos to our current state in that a lot of these pandemic-induced realities have caused volunteer managers to completely rethink their strategies as far as volunteer engagement programs. So the question came up, how do I offer options for my volunteers based on their availability and comfort levels? And what we found is the key is to provide options for your volunteers by offering them the ability to connect in a virtual session, in person, so offering an in-person option as well, hybrid, so both virtual and in person, and maybe even offering a private event or a public event. And again, the important part is the flexibility and choice for your volunteers based upon their needs and desires. Another question we have often is, how can I provide my corporate partners with one volunteer platform that does it all? And that's where we'd like to introduce a bit of the functionality and features of Volunteer Now. And as I mentioned before, first, it's very important to provide your volunteers with options, with giving them the ability to attend a volunteer event in a variety of different ways. Volunteer Now also enables the promotion of your events throughout the entire Ignite platform and on your website. Offering dashboard visualizations of volunteer event registrations. It's very critical to be able to slice and dice the data that you have, and offering your volunteers the option to donate to your cause as well. Offering multiple ways to engage with your organization is very critical. Now we'll dig in a bit more into how StratusLIVE approaches this challenge. And these are some of the design differentiators that help you address the issue of providing flexibility and choice for your volunteers. First up, you can use the Volunteer Now module for both public events and workplace campaigns. So if you're engaging with a corporate partner in your area, offering a volunteer event for their employees, you could use Volunteer Now to manage that entire process. You could also use it if you're offering a public event. So say you're engaging just the members of your community, you could leverage the platform in a public way as well. What I love about the platform is that you can point constituents to your website and they would easily be able to see all of your volunteer opportunities that you have available. You can also personalize it with Google Maps, and it makes it easier on your volunteers to know where they need to be. Branding control is another great feature of our platform, so that anytime one of your constituents is engaging with Ignite, they will see your logo, they'll see your brand, they will see your colors, and it will make sense to them and that it is one unified environment that you have control over. Then finally, a very critical feature that makes it easier on both you and on your volunteers is sending them an automated email after they've registered with a calendar invite that they can add immediately to their calendar. So there's no need to set up reminders to them. They can receive that information and they will be on their way so they don't miss your event. With that, we'll pass things over to Jennifer and she'll provide a brief intro into the Volunteer Now demo.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate the handoff. Just wanted to start us here from the management point of view. So this is basically the home dashboard of our Ignite platform for our fictitious site here. And so we're representing a united way. We can look at the dashboard here and see all of the donations that have come in and all of the different sources that we're using for the Ignite platform. We can see the donation count, the total donors. We can see that in a graphical form and export it. And then we can see any recent activity. So I can come up here and look at 90 days. I can look at a year, and I can also filter it here by the different tools that we have. So today we're focusing on the volunteering. And so I wanted to come down here to this dashboard and show you that we have a very similar setup here where we're looking at registrations, upcoming events, upcoming corporate events. And again, we can change this by looking at the different days, which hopefully will give you a better idea of the pulse of what's happening when and let you know maybe better how to manage these events. And then we down here have, again, the different recent activities. So I'm going to come in here now to our volunteer opportunities. And I have 5 opportunities that have been created over time. We have them all published, meaning that they can be seen on a website. We have the different locations, et cetera. And I was going to go ahead and look at one of these. Let's see, run the race, and just give you an overview of what it looks like from the background and from the back end. So this is my dashboard. It gives me my event date, how many registrations have been filled, what's the registration including guests, because obviously that could be a different count. And we come in here, and one thing to note is that when I'm coming through and looking at this to edit it, this is also very, very similar to how you would create the event. So you go through the same steps. So it's very similar. So I just wanted to give you that piece of information. So we have the name of the event. We have an image. You can upload images. We have the please join us. And if that wasn't enough, we can add additional information, etc., so that you can see what exactly is going on with your event. And I'll save that so that we can see that show up. We have the time and location, so if you needed to change something, you can come in here and change it and send out an email. By putting in the location and a street address, as Kelly was saying, it would actually go to the Google Maps. It can pull it in so that when you see that event from a volunteer point of view, it really makes it very simple to know where you're supposed to go. We have volunteer settings here. Is this the private or the public, which Kelly had mentioned? We have event capacity. Do you want t-shirts? Everybody loves a t-shirt. So we have built that right in here so that it's easy to catch that kind of information as well as the sizes. And we have the ability to add volunteer shifts. So if you wanted to say yes to volunteer shifts, it's very easy to come in here and add them. We also have the ability to add custom questions. And when I go through, when I'm going through to register for an event and show you how that works, we have a bunch of questions set up, but it's just very simple. And you have the ability to ask a multiple choice question. You can do a check that all apply, or you can even have a free form, and that information will be able to be extracted, so it makes it very easy to manage your events. And then finally here I have this manage registrations. So this shows everyone who is registered as well as if there's any guests, and it's very easy to click here and come here and say I want to email. So built right in here is a very simple method of being able to say I want to email, and we even have tokens included here so that you can have specific information about your event that can automatically be sent to the registrants. So in the theory of making things simple and having those automated messaging, we do have these out-of-the-box messages that are already created. So when you register, you get this thank you for registering, and it has these tokens. You can update this if you want to and save it if you wanted a little bit different information. But again, just trying to make it very simple process to follow and very organized. So now that I've shown you a little bit of the back end, I wanted to take you to what it would look like from a web page. So we have this organization, Community Transformation Foundation, and these are the different volunteer opportunities that they have available. As I'm looking at this, I'm saying, oh gosh, I have October 9th at 7 a.m. and October 9th at 8 a.m. I registered for 2 things that contradict each other. So I could come in here and I could say, I'm going to cancel my registration. So I cancel my registration, I say yes, and it's going to email me that I've canceled my registration. It's that simple to do. Close that out and I'll come back here. And now what I wanted to show you is if I'm going to register, it's very easy for me to come in here to the event that I'm interested in. I can read all about this event. I can see the Google Maps because we have a valid address in here. I can either donate, so you have the ability to donate. You don't have to have that, but if you want to have that ability, it is possible within this tool to donate now, even in memory of. But I'm going to register. So I put in my name. I can put in my phone number. I don't have any additional guests. And here I have shifts. So these are the things that I can talk, see what I want to do. I'm going to do the 9 a.m. to 11. Have I ever volunteered? No. How did I hear about it? Website. So all of this information, and I can't type, but all of this information will be captured and you are able to export it. Do I want a t-shirt? Of course I want a t-shirt. And so then before I submit it, I can actually make sure that everything made sense and it looks good, and then I can submit it. So it is as simple as that to be able to do that. You'll see that this is updated to show me I can update my registration or cancel it. And what I want to be able to do is now just show you my email that I registered. So let's see. This is just a look at what that looks like before mine comes through. And that is what I wanted to show you today. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I'm excited to share this this functionality with you. I think it's pretty slick and really excited with how it works.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kelly. I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Jennifer. We did have one question come through. How are volunteer events created within the system?
So it really is as simple as coming back here to my volunteers, my opportunities, and I go through this creation process. So I'm just naming it. I can select my image, I can upload. So I just came back here and basically I am just going through, and you come through this where I was going through when I was editing. It's very similar. You create your content here. You can copy and paste it in. You can use tokens. You set your time and location and walk through all of these things. You save it and then you publish it. And that's as simple as it is. And it will come up to your website.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate all of you spending this quick 15 minutes with us. We have another set of webinars next week, so I encourage you to head to our website and check out our additional series, Take 5 with StratusLIVE. We appreciate you all spending this time with us, and thank you, Jennifer, for providing us with the demo.
Awesome. Thank you.